Now we're going to learn how to multiply decimals by 10. But first, let's think about multiplying whole numbers by 10. So our first question is 2 times 10. We know that the answer's 20, and you might have been told that if you're multiplying a whole number by 10, you can just put a 0 on the end. That works for whole numbers, but it doesn't work for decimals. So let's do 2 times 10, but let's use the method that we're going to use to multiply decimals. So we can write out our number, and because 2 is a whole number, we can put our decimal point on the end. We copy down the decimal point, and we're multiplying, which means our number is going to get larger, because if you multiply by any number larger than 1, your answer always gets bigger. And in 10 we have 1 0, so we're going to move the digit 1 square to the left. So if we copy down this 2, 1 square to the left, we now have an empty square before the decimal point. But we know that the digit before the decimal point has to be the ones digit, so we need to write a 0 in this empty square to show that the 2 is now 2 tens. So now we have the decimal point on the end of 20, so our answer is 20. Now let's use the same method to multiply 0.2 by 10. So we can write out the decimal 0.2 and copy down the decimal point. Now we're multiplying by 10, which means the digits are going to move 1 square to the left. So if we copy down this 0, 1 square to the left, and do the same with this 2, we now have 0, 2, and if the decimal point is on the end, we have a whole number, so our answer is 2. So notice, when we had 2 ones times 10, we got 2 tens as our answer, and then when we multiplied 2 tenths by 10, we got 2 ones as our answer. So what's 0.8 times 10? We can write out the decimal, copy down the decimal point. We're multiplying by 10, so the digits are going to move 1 square to the left. So if we copy down this 0 and this 8 1 square to the left, we now have the decimal point at the end, so we have a whole number. That's 8. Now for 1.6 times 10, we can write out 1.6, copy down the decimal point, and we're multiplying by 10, so we can move the digits 1 square to the left. Now the decimal point is at the end, so we have a whole number. That's 16. For 60.1 times 10, we can write out the number, copy down the decimal point, and again we're multiplying, so digits are moving to the left, and there's 1 0 in the number 10, so the digits need to be copied down 1 square to the left. When we do that, we get the decimal point at the end, so we have a whole number as our answer. That's 601. So what's 24.6 times 10? We write the number out, copy down the decimal point, and to multiply by 10, we're moving the digits 1 square to the left. Now the decimal point is at the end, so we have 246 as our answer. So let's look at this question in a bit more detail. 0.2 times 10. We know that multiplication can be thought of as repeated addition. So let's add 0.2 or 2 tenths 10 times. We've got our rectangles split up into tenths. So if we colour in 2 tenths, that's one lot of 0.2. When we multiply by 2, we're colouring in another 2 tenths, times 3, times 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So, because we've added 0.2 10 times, we now have 2 whole rectangles coloured in, so our answer is 2 wholes. We could also count using place value counters. So there's 2 tenths, which is the same as 0.2, So if we copy this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times, we now have 20 tenths. But remember, we can join 10 of these tenths together to make one whole, and then we have another 10 tenths which can make another whole. So that's 2 ones, or 2, as our answer. Now let's look at 0.8 times 10. But this time, instead of adding 8 tenths, we can think of multiplication as making things 10 times bigger. What we can do is split up those 8 tenths into 8 different rectangles. And remember, one way of thinking about multiplying by 10 is making things 10 times bigger. So, if we make our tenths 10 times bigger, we've now got wholes. We've got 8 whole rectangles, so our answer is 8. We could also use place value counters. 0.8 is 8 tenths, and if we're multiplying by 10, we can have 10 rows of 8 tenths. But remember, when you've got 10 of something, you can exchange it for one place value counter to the left. So we have 80 tenths, but we can join these into 8 ones, giving us 8 as our answer. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope that was helpful. If you're a teacher or a parent, then please subscribe or go to keystage2maths.com to download resources for this lesson and many more. That's all for now. I'll see you in the next video.